Hey y'all, welcome back. My name is Shmika and this is Check the Rhymes. I am super excited that you're here. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Today, I'm talking about TikTok. I know y'all love scrolling on that app just like I do, but that's not what we're talking about today. In the building, I have Suzy Loftus. She's the head of trust and safety for TikTok USDS. Now, she's going to be talking about the new research that shows teens and parents want to work directly with social media platforms. And TikTok is listening. They're like, we hear you. So she's going to talk a little bit about what they've heard and how they are putting measures in place to help appease the parents and teens. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss today's show. Good morning. Welcome to Check the Rhymes. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Well, I just got off TikTok, so this is appropriate.
What's on your For You feed this morning?
Right now, the whole Chris Brown and Quavo diss thing, I'm like, I don't know these young people, but I'm like all in it now, like the rap beef.
Oh, you can get in it, right? And you're like, I don't know, but I'm following it. You so quickly can get in it. I get it.
Absolutely. So, which brings us to a good point because TikTok is huge in the news right now. Obviously, people are wondering, is TikTok going to still be around? But the biggest part of it is the safety aspect. So right. TikTok, I know TikTok recently launched a survey to really understand how families are approaching online safety conversations. So what did you find?
Yeah, thank you. That's right. We did a survey of 2,000 U.S. parents and teens. And what we found actually was most families are talking on a weekly basis about their teens' online usage. Now, teens also told us about half of them sometimes avoid certain conversations and certain topics, but they're understandable, right? It's difficult topics like body image or bullying. Mm-hmm. What we did find is that parents and teens are actually comfortable talking about AI, which is really interesting. Maybe a newer technology, something where there's a level playing field. They're interested and able to have that conversation more easily. But at TikTok, for us, that's why it's a big priority for us to help parents and teens have what can be really difficult conversations about online usage.
So I don't get on TikTok enough, I think, because I post my content from other apps because I need to stop scrolling like I was this morning because it takes a whole 2 hours. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I have things to do. But
there are tools that we offer. You could set a limit for yourself.
See, I didn't know that.
We really try to, there's things we do to, empower our users to really set the type of experience they want to have, whether it's maybe you don't want comments, maybe you want a private account, maybe you want to limit yourself. Like I pair my account with my teen and I limit them to 60 minutes a day. Those are also default. We limit all teens default to 60 minutes a day. So I think there's a lot of ways we're trying to support you in having a safe experience, even as an adult on TikTok, and put those boundaries in if they're needed.
I love that. So that explains why I don't see my my nieces on there. Like after, I'll see when they're online, but then after a while they disappear. So I guess that's why.
That's right. That's right. We do what we call safety by design when it comes to the teen experience. It's actually very different than an adult experience because we work with experts to really understand, a 13-year-old is very different than a 17-year-old. And so our experience for 13 to 15, those accounts are private by default. They can't send direct messages. And then as they get older, there's more opportunities to sort of engage in like a more mature digital experience. But we work with experts because we really want to, as we said, make sure that it's safety by design for our teen users.
So I just noticed when I logged into mine, because I had my comments shut off, but once I opened them back up and people started to comment, which I was excited there was comments, but I also noticed that there was something at the bottom of the screen that said some of the comments were hidden because it may be spam or basically it might hurt your feelings, or forget what the wording was. And I thought, well, I want to click on it, but I don't want my feelings hurt. But what is that another measure of protection?
That's exactly right. It's a good question. So we have community guidelines on our platform. So, some platforms it's kind of like anything goes, but our platform is really a community. So it's a place we want it to be inclusive. We want it to be free of bullying, harassment, free of images of violence, graphic content, those types of things. And so, yes, comments are something that are also subject to those rules. So if a comment violates one of our community guidelines, it would be removed And so, yeah, you wouldn't get a chance to see it.
Okay, good. I appreciate that for sure.
Yes. And we have across TikTok, we have 40,000 trust and safety professionals around the world. Mm-hmm. And it is our job to sort of get those policies right and then enforce them, fairly at scale. Because, there's 1 billion users on TikTok across the world and 170 million in the US.
Well, I'm curious because I noticed a lot of people go live just as they do on other platforms, but are there measures in place for people going live? Because, I've seen some comments when people are going live or, most of them are either making fun of whoever it is, but usually it's an adult. But are there and I'm guessing kids can't go live unless they're a certain age, but are there protections are in place for that?
Yes, it's such a great, your instincts are very good. You can't go live if you're under 18. Okay. And so that's a really important feature. There's a whole bunch of features. There's no gifting and those types of things for the under 18. But yes, on our live platform, it's the same. Again, our trust and safety partners work to enforce our community guidelines on live as well.
Okay, perfect. So who is on TikTok's Youth Council and what exactly will they be doing?
Yes, it's 15 teens from across the world. So right here in the US, but also Mexico, Morocco, Indonesia, Kenya. These incredible young people have stepped forward and they are going to help advise us on decisions that we make that affect their safety. Mm-hmm. I think oftentimes from my experience, I worked in public safety for 15 years before I joined at TikTok. I think people most impacted by harm are often the ones who have the best answer to what might solve it. So we're bringing young people to the table to help us as we build a safe platform for them.
And how did you pick those young people?
We partnered with a group, Presidio Safeguard, a group that works with young people, find them, screen them. My son actually asked me that question too, because he was like, how did you find them? I was like, no, I can't help you. it wasn't me. I didn't pick them. But we, with a group that works with young people around the world. And the idea is because we had recently done a survey of 2,000, parents. And they really want a seat at the table. Parents and teens want young people to have a seat at the table when platforms are deciding how to build safety for their teen. And so we agree, and we're delighted to have the Global Youth Council help us.
That's great. Well, I know we're running out of time, but the last question that I have for the parents, because my audience is most people, I'd say 90% of them are parents. What can they do on their end to help have those conversations at home with their children, their teens about what they're doing online?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I'm a mother of 3 teens. And so I think the best advice I have is to sort of ask questions and lead with curiosity. Like I asked you, what's on your feed this morning? Yeah. What made you laugh today? What was the funniest video you saw today? Can you help me set up my account? And so I think engaging in maybe something like using our tool family pairing, those types of opportunities we provide on TikTok to help parents have those conversations. But, overall lead with curiosity and find out what they're seeing.
Okay, awesome. And what was on your feed, by the way, this morning, since you mentioned it?
Oh my gosh. Let me just tell you, I'm a big Swiftie. And so, it's all Tortured Poets Department. It's all deep analysis of who the diss tracks are about, who they're not about, and I'm here for it. I learned so much on TikTok. I learned so much.
I do too. Because when I have a question about something, it's either YouTube or TikTok. And it's so many people, we just go to TikTok to find out how do I fix this problem? Or what's a good way to, I had no idea how to get gel polish off until I watched TikTok.
I think that's the thing. And, the average age of a TikTok user in the US is over 30. And so I think we're seeing a lot of people realize you can come to TikTok to learn, to be inspired, to find a book recommendation. Yeah. So I enjoy it myself. And that's why I'm really proud to help keep it safe.
Well, thank you, Suzy, so much for joining me today on Check the Rhymes. Yeah. I'm probably going to get on TikTok as soon as we get off, but
it was a pleasure. Yeah, good to meet you. Check out our tools.
Yes, I'm definitely going to try those tools out now that I know I can limit myself so I'm not on it all day and not doing work.
You can. It was really nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.